It's later in the morning, but for us on the West Coast, people are grabbing their coffee, probably watching in bed, hanging out, just getting their day going. And so, for those of you that are on and you don't see one of your team members on, one of your affiliates, maybe send them a quick reminder to have them jump on. We've got some important updates from our corporate team today. We got Jake Kevorkian back from the cruise. He's got a lot of updates and stuff he's going to cover today. And then we've got a really solid training for you guys to wrap this thing up. So before we dive into it, as we get some folks coming on here, I want to let you guys know that every Saturday this is designed to give you all the updates, announcements, promotions, the core training on what's working, and help you guys get in the right direction, stay on the right track. Iron sharpens iron. If you've ever heard that before, so it's great. One of the things I've learned early on in our career is that the greatest thing about being self-employed, because most of you on here are doing this to make some extra money, whether it's an extra 500 to 1,000 a month, or maybe some of you are looking to do that, make 500 a week, and some of you guys want to change the world and make a multiple six-figure income doing this. So we're all on here for different reasons. However, we all are self-employed. Like, this is our own business. We are all volunteer armies. Like, this is it's not my business. It's not Dave's business. This is your business. And so what you put into this is what you're going to get out of it. And so I always love to tell people the greatest thing about being self-employed is we can do whatever we want whenever we want. How many of you like total freedom in your lives? I know that's why I got into this 27 years ago. They said I could work with who I want, when I want, where I want. And I was like, I like that a lot. But here's the double-edged sword. The worst thing about being self-employed is you can do whatever you want whenever you want. And most people pick the lazy path, the path of least resistance. And one of the things that is very hard to do is create that discipline muscle, that consistency. And that's one of the things that, we always train and talk about. It's you versus you in this game. We're going to supply the best tools, the best resources, the best culture, the best community, the best product, the most amazing comp plan that is in the industry. But at the end of the day, if nobody does anything, nobody gets anything, right? We can have the greatest, most beautiful, exotic car in the garage, but if you don't get in it and take it out of the garage, it's just another car, right? If you don't take the boat away from the dock and actually sail, you're not going to get anywhere. It just sits there. So I just want you guys to get in that right mindset. And so a couple things for those of you that are brand new. First of all, welcome. My name's DJ, one of your three co-founders. We're excited that you're here today. Give some of the new people some love in the chat. A couple things that you're going to want to know is that when you first get started with us, make sure you get plugged into both Facebook communities. If you're on LinkedIn, into our LinkedIn community, that's new as well. You can get with the person that invited you on, make sure they get you dialed in. You're going to want to make sure you're plugged into our Shout app right now. That's our current communication platform from the corporate to the field. Yes, you do get some text messages, so make sure you program that number in as well. Currently, right now, we do a couple events every single week that, when you can plug in, I highly encourage you to do so, because the more you hear the information, even though it might be redundant, that's how you learn. How many times did you go to math class? Did you just go once, or when you felt like it, or did you show up every day, Monday through Friday? Because repetition is the nature of all learning, right? That's the same exact thing with our business today. The more you're around the campfire, the more you're plugging into the presentations and the Saturdays and the DMO Power Hours, the more the culture and the verbiage and the music is going to get inside of you, which is going to be a very big topic today. So we'll talk about that. But just so you guys know, every week, Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern, we do live presentations. It's a great way to use those tools for a follow-up for people that you've piqued their interest, ask if they're open, you sent them a video. I use the Tuesday and Thursday nights as a follow-up tool every single week. And also Saturday trainings. Some people invite them onto these that aren't even involved in the company yet, because then they can feel the culture and the energy and the mindset. Because how many of you like some of the training that we do on Saturdays? Do you think some of your new guests that aren't even in yet might be entertained a little bit, might feel our passion, our energy, our conviction with what we're doing and where we're going. And they might create a little FOMO, fear loss, in them going, gosh, these guys got something going on. I can't afford to even miss something like this. Because what if this does get to 1 million subscribers in 36 months? What if they end up doing $250 million a year? What if they create, tons and tons of millionaires and hundredaires and people, breaking the chains of living check to check? What if all that really does happen? Isn't that interesting? Because it will happen. So you're at the right place at the right time. And so leverage these tools, because there's a saying that there's a prophet not welcome in their hometown, meaning people need to feel the energy. They need to hear success stories. They need to hear about Levarti from other people other than just yourself, because they know you better than anybody. They may like you, they may trust you, but sometimes your network may not respect you because they've seen you act differently behind closed doors. So getting them in front of the information and in the environment is very important. And, the DMO Power Hours, Monday through Friday, we do those at night or at noon Eastern. You guys, we've had some of the most powerful DMOs this last few weeks. For those of you that were there on Thursday, how many of you got a little nervous but excited at the same time? I mean, even Sandy Toes puckered up a little bit on that one because of what we had everybody do. We forced people into action. I know Deborah was on there and Tina was on there. And Tina's a pro at this, and she got a little bit nervous about it. So you guys, we were on there. There's about 20 of us, and we went around the room and we left voice messages, and one by one, I mean, even there are people on there that were scared out of their mind. And what that made me realize is we can train all we want, but if we don't help people get into action, like Donna did on Thursday with us, I mean, she literally almost hung up the phone and ran to the next country. She was so nervous, but we couldn't go forward unless she moved forward with us, because we have that theme, nobody is left behind. So just plug in. If you want to start getting your business into forward action, you definitely want to start plugging into the DMO calls. And if you can't be on them live because you got a 9-to-5 or a career, no big deal. We record majority of the time and we place those into the Shout recordings, and you could listen to them and just go through the motions on your own. But what if every day, Monday through Friday, you did watch the recording of the DMO and did the activity that we did without you, but you can do it with us just on the replay. So just those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick. The other thing I want to talk about before I bring up Dave Price, our amazing COO, with some updates, is a lot of you guys get emails. Drop in the chat if you guys have at least enrolled one human into Levarti. Just put me in the chat so everybody can see how you guys are doing. And so all of you guys should get an email every single month of all your personal enrollments when their payment goes through, but also if their payment is compromised where it doesn't go through. And one of the things I do, because how many of you have ever lost a credit card before? Anybody ever lost a credit card before? My wife almost left hers at the restaurant last week. She gets on my ass constantly, and she, I finally caught her in something. She's so perfect all the time, but she forgot her credit card. So we had to go back and get it. But if we didn't, we would have had to report it lost or stolen. How many of you have ever had a credit card lost or stolen? So understand something. So does your team members. So does your members and affiliates. Or some people's credit cards expire. How many of you have had credit cards expire? So understand something. You are an independent business owner. It is up to you to reach out to the people that have credit cards going through. I always check and see how they're doing, because how many of you like satisfied customers? I utilize those notifications, by the way. Here's a little pro tip. Every month to reach out to the people I've personally enrolled. And I don't even talk to them about business. I just call them to see how they're doing in life in general, whether they're a paid customer and the card went through. And then if it didn't go through, I reach out to them and let them know, hey, I don't know if your card got compromised, it got lost or stolen, or maybe your card expired. You're going to want to update that. I know you're high up in this compensation plan and you don't want to lose your position. So I just want to let you know that, to update that. So that way you're in that 30-day grace. So utilize that to your advantage. And guess what? Most people have money in their card, are in their bank account. Here's another issue. A lot of banks are changing their laws, rules, and regulations on an ongoing basis. And even cards that have the money in them are still getting declined at times. So they need to reach out to their bank to let them know that this is a reoccurring payment. So I just want to give you guys some information that you need to know when it comes to the credit card stuff. If you guys have got those emails, make sure you do something with those. So without any further ado, I mean, a lot of you guys know we have the best of the best of the best in the industry when it comes to corporate staff. Without Dave Price, there's no way we could get the things done that we need to get done. And so he's got a couple, 2 or 3 announcements. I am going to have you unmute, my friend. Let me know if you can, and I'm going to have you take the floor.
Yep, sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right. Glad to be on to this morning. Great to see some of you and that I've recognized some faces, and glad to see some new faces on here too. Yeah, so first off, I just want to address straight up the commission payment process. Yeah, I know it has been painful for some of you. Some of you have got your commissions, and some of you have received some errors in the transferring process and have been extremely patient beyond all means to get your commissions. Now, let me just first say that obviously that's not our intention at all to make any type of delay to get your commissions. We realize that you are the lifeblood of this company, and we take it very seriously. I've been tracking and following up on this on a day-to-day basis, working with our third-party provider. In summary, we've got that all straightened out right now. Commissions are already transferring successfully. If you do experience any errors, please let us know ASAP, and I will be checking those tickets in our support email to make sure that we can get some quick resolution to whatever experience you're receiving. Okay, so commissions are transferring successfully now, so you shouldn't have any problems, but please let us know if you do. Okay. And just so you know, we are working on additional backups in case something ever does happen again. We are going to have some additional backup processes in place so we can immediately make sure that you get your commissions in place and receive those. Okay. Now, these backup options really apply to the US that we're working on because the majority of our affiliates are in the US, and we want to make sure that everyone is taken care of in the US. So anyway, I really do appreciate your patience. And I know let's be honest, there's been a lot of screaming behind the scenes, I'm sure, on my side and probably on your side. So anyway, but we really do value your work and hard effort, etc., and are working on getting your commissions very quickly. So with that said, I want to shift over to another topic real quick, and I'm going to just share my screen just to show you just a couple of updates that we've done in the back office in your affiliate portal. Okay, so let me go here and share my screen. You should be able to see this. All right. A quick training thing I just want to mention is some of you have been writing in and saying, hey, on my subscription, I've updated my payment method, etc. Kind of like how DJ said, I lost my card or whatever I need to update with a new card or new expiration date, something like that, right? So the situation though on this is we need currently in the system, we need the ability for you to not only update the card, but then you also have to update your subscription that is tied to that new card. So there's a 2-step process, right? So you go in here to update your card. So you go into the payment methods and you add in a new payment method, okay? And so here, I'm going to just pull up my own test account real quick. I think that'll be a little bit easier to see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So you go to add in your profile, you add a payment method and you click add new debit card or credit card. You go through that process and click save. All right. So now it's saved in your account. Now, the thing I'm working on with our with IT is, even though you say set as default, it doesn't set it as the default for your current subscription. And so therefore it will apply to any new subscription, but we do have to go in and change the existing subscription. Now I'm working with IT to get a pop-up that will say, hey, do you want to apply this to your current subscription? And therefore it's a little bit easier, and we'll save that change. But right now you need to go also into your orders, click manage subscriptions, and then edit the subscription that you want to process with the new card. Right now I just have one credit card here. But when you've added that additional card, it'll have another box here, and you need to select the title right here, and it will show as green. And when it shows as green, that means that's the card you've selected. But there's one more step, and don't forget this critical piece. You need to click this button, save my subscription. And so once that's done, it'll update and it'll apply to any new orders moving forward. Okay. And so even then, like maybe, with the lost card situation, and we already processed your subscription this month, and you got the email notification saying, oops, sorry, we weren't able to process your order, etc. All you need to do is just update that, shoot us a message saying it's updated, and we can rerun the subscription for you. Okay. And it'll automatically pick it up. So with that said, just wanted that training piece to cover real quick. Hopefully that'll provide a little bit more clarity there. Okay. The other piece that we've been working on, and I know this has been a pain point for a lot of you, and I'm happy to say that we finally got it posted and it's live now, is this. So at the end of this month, June, when it switches over from June 30th to July 1st, your June 30th data would be missing until we process officially the commissions for June. However, that's been changed, so you can constantly see what your dashboard looks like for the previous month. So when I went to compensation dashboard, if you notice that it shows what I am this month, and here's all my count totals and qualifications. Well, this is not mine, this is DJ's account, but here's last month. So now you can see what your last month values were. And so therefore you can constantly see and make sure, okay, I was qualified for this pool, etc. And you're not running around in the dark until we process commissions. Okay. So there's one last piece that I want to cover today. And that is this. For those of you who were already in as an affiliate already in May, we did have the adjustment of our personal enrollment points criteria for the affiliate pay plan update June 1st. However, as mentioned by Jake and DJ, when you qualified for a pool on the old requirements in May, they promised each of you that you'd be grandfathered and locked in for those pools that you qualified for at those previous old requirement numbers. Okay. Now, right here, you may not see that. Right here, it is all the new requirement numbers. So this is how it's going to work. Manually, I already have a snapshot of what you qualified for in May. So at the end of each month, I will rerun based off of your May qualification numbers and those pools that you qualified for, and redo the calculation based off of those existing pools that you qualified for. So in short, you're going to qualify as a grandfathered into the pool that you reached in May, provided that you have those requirements in the month of June, July, etc. If you want to achieve a higher pool, that's when the new requirements will apply. Okay. So I hope that's clear. If I kind of mumbled through that, DJ, correct it. And you're much better at communicating than I am. But hey, that's all I wanted to cover today. You're going to be grandfathered in. Don't worry what your dashboard says. It'll all be corrected when I process commissions. All right. Back over to you,
Buddy.
DJ.
Thanks, man. We appreciate everything you're doing. This guy works 24/7. It seems like late at night, early in the morning, the holidays. He's always doing something. He's accessible. I mean, he is one of the hardest working individuals behind the scenes with what we do, guys. We are super blessed. So thank you, Mr. Price. I know you're doing the family thing this weekend. And so next thing we want to do, guys, is we want to bring up a friend of mine that is literally pouring her heart and soul into this company. She is like you, a rep just on massive steroids, not only building in the field, but also helping with, the corporate side of what we do. And I just want you guys to know she is doing this as a volunteer army. Like, she does not get paid on payroll. She's not an owner of the company, but she acts and feels as if she's an owner of the company. Her heart is all in Levarti, bleeding blue. And she's obviously running the foundation. She's helping with some ideas and masterminding and just doing some amazing things for all of you. And her and Jake had the pleasure of hanging out with about 33 individuals on a cruise for about 7 days. And I know that they want to kind of share their experience. And I know Corinne put a little slideshow together so you can see what some of our curated trips are. For those of you that don't know, we also do a lot of curated trips where we package a lot of great things together to create life peak experiences at a significant discount. And so we've got a bunch of those coming up. She's going to talk about one of them specifically. But Corinne, you should be unmuted. Take the floor, my friend.
Hello, everybody. So I am still trying to catch up from all of our fun. So we did our first Levarti party at sea. And there were, I think, about 29 of us there. It was kind of crazy, always amazing. We got to go to Jamaica. We went to Grand Cayman. We went to Mexico and the Bahamas. So I know for me personally, I've been in situations where we go to events, and most of them are like learning events where you go and you learn and then you got to hang out, in between. This was kind of like the flip-flop, right? We got to have fun and we kind of learned in the in-between. So I guess that's kind of the perk of being part of a travel company, is you get to have more fun than you do learning. But there were so many amazing people there. And I know for me, it really hit home why we're doing this. I left with I would say like a refreshed perspective, for two reasons. One was just because the people that we have here are really amazing. Like all of y'all, every single time that I spend time with you and that we get to be together, I just continue to be reminded that we are so incredibly blessed. But the second reason is because I actually got to bring my family. And, we talk about having a legacy company. And I think in some situations, that's a really great marketing word. That's a really cool thing to say. I will say with Levarti, that is genuinely true. My kids are now just even more excited when I'm on calls. They know exactly who I'm talking to. They're all bought in. They're asking when the next Levarti party is going to be. And they can't wait to see the family. And so I want to encourage you guys that when we have these events, when we have these trips, bring your family, bring your friends, let them be part. They don't, if they're there with you and your family, not all of my kids are members yet. But they want to, you're going to want for them to experience this. It definitely is contagious. So I'm going to share with you guys just a little video of our time together. And then I know Jake wanted to also kind of give a little recap of how much fun that we had. So give me a quick second to get this shared. Here we go. So that was just a sneak peek glimpse of a whole week. So as you can imagine, there was a ton more fun that happened in there. There were people singing, there were people dancing. I know that a blast was had by all. And one thing I want to point out too is that there is a chance to actually join us on a few more trips. I know there's a trip happening in July. There is a trip happening in August to Vegas. I'm going to pop the link for that here in the chat in a second. And then we've got the Keys, I think in October. And then of course, we're all going to be together in September, hopefully in Arizona. So Jake, what would you add to that? Oh, you're muted.
Yep. There you go. Thank you. I would just say that, we had obviously a great time. You can only show so much of it in a 2-minute slide presentation, but just the opportunity to hang out and really get to know people, right? I kind of knew and had talked to, everybody on this trip at some point, either on a Zoom call or the telephone or briefly at a conference or whatever the case may be. But just really getting to know people's family, like Corinne's amazing family. Like, my God, her youngest son is like one of my best buddies now, I think. And just hanging with everybody. Tammy and I spent an awful lot of time with Dan and Shannon. And, I guarantee you, we'll hang out with them more in the future. I consider those guys like really good friends now, as I do everybody, right? And just, I think getting to know people on a personal level and really getting to know their personality and who they are and who they are as a person and who their family is and being able to hang out and create those memories with people that you work with is very special. And quite honestly, that's the reason, in my opinion, that the travel industry is so perfect for direct sales, right? Because let's face it, people in other companies that are working, selling some other product in direct sales or any business, traditional or direct sales or whatever it may be, most people have aspirations and dreams to travel more, right? So I tell people our product is everyone else's incentive, right? So it's, we had a blast. And here's what I'll say. I would not miss this Vegas trip if I were you. We've got, I think DJ can confirm, but I think we've got 2 or 3 rooms left. We're going to create these memories on an ongoing basis. And I understand you can't go to all of them, right? I mean, there'll be a point where we have trips every single month, and there's no way anybody can go on all these trips. But make sure that you make it a point as soon as possible to experience one of these trips, because it just being there with these people, hanging out, creating new memories with new friends and old friends and getting to know people, that's going to build and solidify your belief in what we're doing. And the stronger belief you have in what we're doing, the better off you're going to be. And quite honestly, the company that DJ and I were part of for many years, a company that was in the travel space, a company that did almost $1 billion in sales in a year, they built it around that. I mean, that's all they had. Okay. That's all they had was these curated trips. And I'm telling you, it's very, very powerful, but it's only powerful if people participate. It's only powerful if you show up and experience it and build that belief yourself. So hopefully, if you miss this cruise, hopefully you're going to be with us in Vegas and many more to come. But, every single person there just, watching. We had one night, we had a reception, and we got to watch Francois get up and sing, and Paul, the mayor of Levarti, and his amazing personality. I got to meet Debbie, who, as you guys know, is God bless her, the largest single contributor to our Levarti Foundation. Getting to meet the family that we sponsored and brought on the trip, it was cool. It was literally like, and I've taken a lot of trips in my life. Believe me, I've traveled a lot, and I've done this with groups for a long, long time. And it was one of my most memorable because, again, it's our first. There'll only be one first Levarti Dash Life trip. And for those of you that were there, you know what I'm talking about. So just don't miss them in the future. DJ, I'm going to turn it back over to you if you want to say a few things before we move on. I don't know where we are in the program here, but your guy, I'll turn it over to you.
Nope, awesome stuff. Looked like a great time. We do have a key topic that we're going to talk about for a training here in a minute. One of the things I want you guys to do today, though, is go to the Levarti Nation Facebook group or the Dash Life group. We're starting to put events and on the calendar in both of those groups as far as all the upcoming events that are curated trips. For the events in Arizona that we're doing, we've had some people reach out to us going, hey, you guys are floating the Salt River in July. Yep. And they're like, we want to fly in for that. We want to come in for that. So just so you guys know, when we do events in a local market, it's not just for the local market. If you have the desire to participate, feel free to come hang out. And then, of course, a couple things I want to announce to put on your radar. July 26th, it's a Friday. We are going to float the river here in Arizona, and we're having a lot of fun. I mean, I'm getting a chance to meet a lot of great people like Dana and a bunch of people. Shali and I have been hanging out quite a bit. We got January and all these amazing people locally that we're starting to get together with. Jeff Fagan, when he's in town, I know I see him right now. He's on a cruise out there right now. And just so many amazing people. But we are also doing a staycation in August 10th, right after Vegas. So if you can plan Vegas and a couple extra days, you want to come 4 hours south, you can do that. But we're doing some really cool local culture events. And I've had people reach out going, hey, I want to do this in Florida, and I want to do this in Alabama, and I want to do this in Texas. Guys, we're just setting the groundwork, if you will, and just kind of leading from the front. But I challenge all of you that have multiple people in the same market, start doing some local happy hours, networking, connecting. I mean, we're going to do some cool stuff like Top Golf, and there's a really cool Tiger Woods just built a really adult style putting, mini putt program, like 36 holes of golf that are amazing. And so we're just going to every month, we're doing a happy hour and we're doing an activity. Shali did a pool party at her house last month. And so just know that you guys should get together in your local areas and create that culture, create that community, because we really are bringing offline and online together and using more of the online as your business card and getting in the trenches and having conversations with people in the community. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then last but not least, a lot of you guys know about, how many of you guys remember in May, we did a promo where people could enroll for the Passport Lite and get for $50 a year and get grandfathered in? How many of you guys remember that? Okay. Well, Jake and Corinne came up with a great idea where if they upgrade to the Passport Lite on the monthly, after 10 months, because they've already paid $50, that they will get their 1,500 hotel vacation credit. Okay. So, obviously I'd highly encourage you to reach out to them today and tomorrow, because July 1st is on a Monday. We want to make sure that anybody would want to participate, get involved in that program. And then what we want to do too, every time, Bart, Jake, and I talk, our number one conversation is, how can we make it better? How can we bring in more revenue to the compensation plan, directly and indirectly, to bring opportunity for you guys to make more money? How many of you guys like the concept that you have owners that are looking at every aspect and every angle possible to put more revenue in the revenue pools, whether you have any involvement in it or not? How many of you guys kind of like that concept? How many of you would like to get paid on all of the revenue of Levarti, but how would you like to get paid on revenue that really has nothing to do with Levarti? Oh, that was a big hook. Huh? How many of you guys like that concept? How would you like to own a Subway, but get paid off of, Burger King and Jimmy John's and all the other type of restaurants out there because of our business model, and because we have such a sexy travel product? People actually reach out to us going, we want some of that. All right. So with that being said, there's two topics, Jake, that I would love for you to take on. One is the mumble that I just did. But also number two, if you don't mind, you and I've had some very deep conversations about really truly understanding the comp plan. I know you and I use examples in different ways about the you know the you know the one percenters and the majority, but we're all kind of co-creating this together. I think that gave you the idea of what I just mentioned. So if you could cover those two topics before I go into the training, that would be awesome. You guys, Jake and Bart are throwing their heart on the line all the time with what we're doing and trying to make it better, faster, stronger for you guys. And Jake and I actually found a way to do that to really pump up these revenue pools. And I think it's great for you guys to really understand. So here's the deal, though. I need 100% of your attention for like literally 7 minutes, because that's probably all it's going to take, Jake, to do this topic. But I need you guys to hear this and really focus on this, because if you listen, you're going to be really excited about this. But if you're half listening, you're going to be confused and ask a lot of questions. So I need you to listen to this. Can I get your commitment for like literally 7 minutes just to understand the power about what he's going to do? All right, Jake, take it away.
All right, buddy. So first off, you know, in regards to what DJ was talking about with the compensation explanation, okay, it's pretty simple. As you know, we've got a very, very, very different compensation plan. It's unlike anything in the industry, okay? And the great thing about Levartis, you have an opportunity to leverage the entire company. In most direct sales companies, if you go build a team, if you recruit some people, and they happen to duplicate and create success, you can create a residual income. You can create some leverage on that team that you build. But what happens if you enroll 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people, which I've seen happen? You're doing all the right things. You're plugging into the trainings. You're following the program. But for whatever reason, you don't get any success. That's been the issue with this industry. I've seen so many talented people, well-intended people follow the program, and for whatever reason, the people they enrolled never caught the vision and never duplicated. I've literally seen people in binary pay plans with thousands. And in fact, DJ and I have a very good friend of ours that had over 10,000 active reps in a company, 10,000 in his lineage, and never got paid on them. Never hardly earned any money at all because he didn't build two teams, right? He didn't create duplication in his two teams. That's the benefit of the plan we have, is you leverage the entire company. Now, understand that the money that you earn off this entire company is 100% predicated on how much volume we can drive into the pools and how many people qualify for each of those pools, right? And so the more volume we drive into the pools, the higher everybody's checks are going to be, at least everybody in pool 1 through 6, right? And then if you're in 7, 8, 9, and 10, which I'll touch on in a minute, you know, it's obviously even more money. But it's all based on volume into the pools. And I'll tell you this, once we start, and we need all hands on deck. I'm going to share with you right now in just a second a way that we are committed to driving some serious volume into the pay plan ourselves. But we need everybody's help. We need everybody participating, okay? We need everybody. You know, here's what I would suggest and encourage and ask you to do. Just go out and do whatever you have to do to get into pool 6 at least, okay? Because everybody can do that. The company volume is going to be there. We're going to continue to grow as a company. And just go out and no matter what, get focused on getting in pool 6. When you get into pool 6, then you know what? You'll be able to see pool 7. But just focus on getting positioned into pool 6. All right, so we need everybody's help. Now, again, when you're leveraging the entire company, I was sharing this with DJ the other day. There are certain people, and I can't name them all, but certainly DJ and myself and Dave Dove and Sandy Toes Nose and there's a few others, right, that would be making significantly more money right now, significantly more money in any other pay plan. However, we would not be sending out as many checks as we're sending out right now. I can tell you with 100% certainty, and I would challenge any company to prove me wrong. I know that we've got percentage-wise it's not even close, far more people earning a residual income in Levarti than any other company. It's not even close, because I understand how these companies work. I owned a company for many, many, many years that was a binary pay plan. And I can tell you, when we were doing $10 million a year in volume, we had about 5%, less than 5% of the people in the company earning a residual income. But guess what? Those 5% were sucking up all the commissions, right? So they were making a lot, but we weren't sending out many checks. So what's great about the Levarti pay plan is pull 1 through 6, everybody participates, okay? And, you know, I'm a capitalist, right? We're all capitalists. Like, we believe in capitalism, right? And we all know that socialism probably generally, if you look around the world, doesn't work. But I told DJ, I mean, it's just an analogy, right? But it's almost like we have a socialism program for pull 1 through 6, right? Everybody participates. We share the wealth, but we've got 7 through 10 for the capitalist. So it's like we're taking care of everyone. No one's left behind. But if you want to go out and dig in and build a team and create some lineage, you have an opportunity to go out and get and pull 7, 8, 9, and 10 and make unlimited amounts of income. That, to me, is a beautiful thing. All right. So just understand that whether you get duplication or not, if you just focus on your personal sales and focus on getting into pool 6, I'm telling you, over time, as this company continues to grow, that volume is going to be more and more and more, which means the checks are going to be more and more and more. And we're going to have people, I truly believe, once we get this ship off the ground and have the momentum and implement some of the things we're doing, we are going to have people in pool 6 that can, you know, support their life, right? Can live on that type of income. And when you think about that, you could do that just based on your own personal sales. You don't have to get any duplication. That's a pretty cool thing. So back to the fact that we have to drive volume into the pay plan. Couple things, and we've talked about this many times, but we are on the verge. And when I say on the verge, probably, I guess, within the next couple of weeks. I mean, this marketing funnel and landing page, and it's all done. I mean, it's all there. We're working on some final programming in the back end to make it tie into, the flight platform and all of that. But we're essentially, we're done. And we are going to be launching this with 4 different verticals. We've got 4 different demographics that we're going to test this in, and we're going to start investing money into making this work, which is going to do what? Drive volume into the plan. Now, understand something, okay? I'm pointing out the obvious, but I want to say it. You know, there's 2 types of companies in the world. There's a traditional company that doesn't have any affiliates, that invest all the money and grows the company themselves from a corporate level, right? And then there's direct sales companies that take that money that they would normally invest into marketing, and they just pay the field. Okay. They take, like in our case, we take, 50% of the commissions and we pay it out into the field. And you guys are essentially our marketing effort. And in every other direct sales company, that's it. Like, these other direct sales companies are not ever investing additional funds into driving sales into the company. Why? Because they're using their marketing dollars to pay the field. You can't do both, right? You got to do one or the other generally. Okay. I think we figured out a way to do both, though. And that's what we're excited about. So because of our new partnership with this 2.0 travel agency, that again is, we've got a target date. We've got a locked in target date with these guys. And I can tell you that based on where we are right now, it looks like less than 2 months we'll be able to launch this 2.0 highly upgraded version of our travel agency, okay, with our new partners. Now, the new partners that we've partnered with, they've been in this industry for over 30 years. They've had massive success. They've got hundreds of employees. They've got a huge infrastructure. They are completely vertically integrated in the travel industry in every possible way you could be, right? So one of the things that they do, part of their business model, is they already provide this similar platform. Like, obviously all platforms are different based on the different features that someone wants to add to the travel platform. But for the most part, it's a wholesale booking engine with however many additional features you want to add, right? They already supply this platform to other companies in corporate America, to other direct sales companies, to other large networks of people. They're already doing that. That's the business that they're in. The benefit to you guys is now that we are partnering with them and we're going to have equity ownership with these guys in this travel agency, in this host travel agency, we now, Bart, myself, and DJ, have an opportunity to participate in that income, right? So in other words, when we go out and there's another company, whether it be direct sales or a large network of people or corporate America, that implements this travel platform, we have an opportunity now to get paid on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that money and we are going to fully supplement the ad buys, right? Because we can't, again, it's really difficult to pay the field 50% commissions to go do the marketing and then go and create a marketing budget yourself. So we've now got an opportunity to take these funds and pour them into a marketing campaign, which is what we're going to do. Not only that, any companies that we bring on, whether it's a direct sales company, a large network company, a benefits, an employee benefits company, whatever it may be, that revenue that we receive, we're going to use to supplement the ad buy, just like I said, but we're also going to take 10% of that revenue and dump it into the Levarti pay plan. Okay. How does that sound to you guys? So now, when you look around and you see some other company that might be, I don't know, a nutritional company or a skincare company or employee benefits company or, you know, another large charity that had nothing to do with Levarti, but they've got our platform, that they're using our platform, you know now that you're going to get paid. Okay, there's a guy in Dallas. Some of you may know him. His name's Terry LaCour. Terry LaCour is probably more vertically integrated in the direct sales network marketing industry as one individual, probably more than any other person I know. He owns a manufacturing facility. He owns multiple different companies. He supplies products for a lot of different companies. And I'm telling you, Terry owns multiple companies that might be sharing or selling the same similar products or the exact same product. I can guarantee you, company A is not getting paid off company B. It's not happening. Company A is not earning any revenue from company B. So I want you to know that we are going to now have the opportunity to bring on additional revenue outside of Levarti that we can not only directly supplement the ad buy so that we can go out and create new customers ourselves, which we're also going to dump into the revenue share pools. We're also going to be able to take 10% of that revenue and put it into the Levarti compensation plan. And this is what I'll do. I'm going to close with this. Back to what I said a minute ago, everything, all of the income in Levarti that you guys are earning is 100% predicated on this volume. And I will tell you this, that once we get the volume, and again, I'm asking you, don't sit back, please, and just let us do it all. I mean, we're doing it, all right? DJ and I are in the field. We're building, we're recruiting, we're working. We're doing it all, right? We're going to keep doing it. But I'm asking you to help us because the more volume we get into that plan, the more checks people are going to make. And when you can sit down in 6 months from now and do a presentation and just point to pull 6 and go, look how much money you would have made if you were in pull 6 last month, it is going to create a frenzy. It is going to create a frenzy. And the more volume we drive in, the more reps we're going to enroll. The more reps we enroll, the more volume we drive in. As that volume gets crazy, it creates that frenzy. And guess what? You want to talk about going out and getting top leaders, like people that can bring over large numbers of people quickly? Look at the recruiting bonus that we offer up every single month. As we drive more volume into this plan, those numbers are going to be insane. I told DJ the other day, there's not a doubt in my mind. There will be, in short order too, I'll say in a year or less, I truly believe that recruiting bonus, that builder's bonus that we have in place, the top builder in that position is going to be earning over $10,000 a month. I mean, I believe those kind of bonuses will be paid within a year. So, but we've got to get the volume into the plan, however we can do it. And we're doing our part. We're doing as much as we can. We're investing money. We've forming these new partnerships, and it's just I don't even know how things happen for a certain reason. And I don't know how these guys were, how or why they were brought into our lives, but this partnership is going to be a huge benefit in many, many ways for Levarti. So we're super excited about it, and wanted to share it with you guys. And again, it's all about creating more volume. We need your help. We're doing our part. You do your part, and we're all going to be good. So if anybody has any questions about any of it, or how it's going to look, how it's going to work, or whatever, let me know. But again, I believe, we all believe, that we're within just a couple of weeks of being able to introduce the funnel to you guys and show it to you, and then launch it ourselves and start driving some new customers in here outside of the direct sales marketing effort. So that's it. PJ, back to you, brother.
Awesome, man. Exciting times. I know a lot of people are excited about this. I mean, put this into perspective. Things that nobody has any financial interest in, workload in, a completely different entity outside of Levarti is out there marketing our product. People are coming to us wanting it, and we're going to be dumping that 10% into the revenue pools to help you guys all make more money. There's a company out there, I won't tell you what the company is, but they sell a service, and most of their reps don't even know that they resell that service to a half a dozen other companies out there in the same industry, they're competitors, and there's no financial gain for those reps over at that company. It's only a benefit for the owners. And that's one thing that Bart and Jake and myself did not want to do to you guys. We wanted to make sure if we create other revenue sources, because we have a great network of people, we wanted to make sure it was beneficial for all of you guys. Because again, our tagline, no one's left behind. And so we're excited about that as well. And so what I want to do real quick, I know we've almost an hour into this. Give me about 15 more minutes, guys. I really want to share with you guys what it really took for me early on in my career to have my first aha moment, my first breakthrough. How many of you have heard my story that the first couple of years in my career in the network marketing profession, I really went through Suckville for a long time. I went years where I spent more money than I made. I couldn't figure it out. I don't know if it was in my head or it wasn't in my heart, or I just couldn't figure it out. I was doing the activity, but I wasn't getting the results that I wanted early on. How many of you might feel the same way a little bit? Anybody on here that you're doing the activity, you're going through the motions, but maybe the check is not aligning with that activity? Are you guys familiar with what I'm saying? So here's what I want you guys to understand. The last several weeks, you've heard us talk about the number one goal is to get you to $500 a month first. We know you want to make more, but if you can't get to $500 a month, you're not going to get to $5,000 a month or $500 a day, right? But once you get to $500 a month, you know how to do that. And now you go help, 4 or 5 people do that, and you're on your way to $500 a week. And then when you want to get to $500 a day, you got to go help about 25 people to get to $500 a week. And you're pushing yourself that way. You're just duplicating the basic information. And it all starts with reaching out and setting, starting at a minimum of 10 conversations a day, so you can get 2 meaningful conversations a day on your calendar. Because we all know full calendar, full bank account. Nothing on the calendar, probably nothing much going on in the bank account. We've all know that. And if you do this, like Francoise the other day, we taught her how to do this through voice clips on her cell phone, reaching out to her contacts from A to Z, going through Facebook, all these different things, and just being a human being first. And this is some of the stuff that you learn, by the way, on the DMO trainings. It's very important for you guys to plug in, because we do some really cool sidebar conversation training on those DMOs that are definitely as valuable, if not more valuable, than some of the Saturday trainings that we have, quite frankly, because we can get right into the nitty gritty based upon where the pain points are in your business today. But just understand, if you're reaching out to 10 people a day to get 2 conversations a day, 5 days a week, you're going to have 520 conversations over the next 12 months. Think about that. And if all you do is bring in 20% of those, you've got 100 personal customers over the next 12 months. And out of that, you might get 1 to 5 people like a Sandy Toes or a Dove or Corinne or somebody that the light bulb goes off and they take off and run with this thing. And it doesn't take a lot of people to go move this thing up the mountain. It just takes the right people to do that. So I want to put that in perspective. But here's what my breakthrough was, okay? Is when I first got involved in this industry, I was very fortunate to build a very, very solid relationship, a friendship. He became a role model in business, but also in my personal life. He became my father figure. A lot of you guys know I lost my father a month before my 8th birthday. Mom went through a couple of them trying to find Mr. Right. Didn't work out till I was actually 18. She found Mr. Right, and they've been together ever since. He's amazing. He's one of my greatest friends. But during that time, I don't have a lot of self-confidence. I didn't have a lot of self-belief. I was an introvert. I was a shy person. I know that's shocking for a lot of you, but that's how I grew up because I had people coming in and out of my life. I had a trust issue going on. And so I didn't have any confidence. I was 18, 19 years old when I got in this industry. And so I had no business being in business. So I was trying to recruit people that were, 10s, 9, and 8s. And they were looking at me probably like a 3 or a 4. How many of you can relate to that? And so when I met Mark, my mentor, he said, you need to get to trainings. You need to get to events. And he said, and so I started going to events when I didn't have the money. Thank God for Citibank and American Airlines. They decided to give a young 18-year-old with no credibility and no income a $15,000 or $25,000 credit card back in 1997. I was like, holy cows, I just hit the damn lottery. And I didn't realize I actually had to pay it back. That was another story for a different conversation. But ultimately, I leveraged a third-party credit card to go to my first event. And when I went to my first event, I got excited for the first time where instead of me being in that company, listen to this, the company got inside of me. And it wasn't what I was saying, it was the belief of what I was saying. The music was different. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys been in a company, never went to an event, but went to an event and you came out of that event a different human being because the music got inside of you? And so I got that. So then he said, never miss an event because repetition is the nature of all learning. How many times you go to math class and so on and so forth. So I plugged in and I started going from event to event to event. And I got better at recruiting. I got better at presenting. I got better at closing. I got better at every aspect of the business. But one part I did struggle in was selling the product. Why? Because I wasn't that excited about the product. I was excited about working with a guy who's made millions of dollars. He's helped hundreds of people make millions of dollars. And I just wanted to build a business and gravitate to him and go get other people to sell the product. And I'm just being fully transparent. It was a product-based company. And we were selling things like nutrition, vitamins, all natural cleaning products. Now put yourself at 18 and 19 years old. Did you care about all natural, earth-friendly cleaning products? Probably not. Did you care about taking all the simp supplements that are out there in the world today? Probably not. Did you care about the skincare and the kukui shine, that I would spray in my hair to make my hair at the time look pretty, and all natural, shampoos and conditioners? Because that's what we sold, by the way. All right. And that didn't get me excited. I knew there was a need for it, but I could have sold anything to work with that guy. If he was selling glow-in-the-dark sticks that electrocuted, I probably would have sold it just to hang out with this guy. And so I started building belief and confidence in doing the business, but I still was missing an element. He said, DJ, he pulled me aside because I was frustrated. There's literally, and Jay could attest to this, there's probably 1,000 times, and every top money earner goes through this. If they don't tell you this, they're full of it. But every top producer wants to quit 1,000,000 times. I've wanted to quit 1,000,000 times in my journey doing this business. All right. But every time I go back to the event, I grew as a human, more personal development, more belief, more action. But I still got stuck again. And I reached out to Mark and he pulled me aside and we went to dinner. And I said, I'm frustrated. I'm getting pissed off. I'm working harder than everybody else in here. I'm here before them. I'm staying later. I'm doing more calls. I'm out there with rollerblades on, handing flyers out late at night. Like I'm going to the mall at lunch, talking to people, pretending to shop. Like I'm doing everything. I'm running ads on back then we ran ads in this thing that looked like a newspaper. I know some of you don't have an idea what a newspaper is, but trust me, we ran sales and marketing ads out there and literally all these different things. And I was doing it, but I still was spending more money than I was making. And I was frustrated because I was outworking everybody, but they were out winning me. And I literally broke down to him and he said, you know what you're missing? I said, no, tell me what I'm missing. He said, you're coming to the events alone. Think about that for a minute. I was coming to the events alone. He said, let me tell you a secret. And I literally leaned into him. I remember it clear as day. He said, listen, you can make a living learning how to sell these products. Okay. You can make a living part-time, full-time. But if you want to make a fortune, you've got to help other people sell these products with you. That's leverage. And I said, okay. And he said, let me tell you the secret of success in this industry. He goes, if you get good at not selling the product, but you get great at selling these events and getting these representatives, in our terms, affiliates, to these events and let me, meaning Mark, pour into these individuals so they can learn what you're learning. Now you're going to have more people doing what you're doing and you're going to have more success. He goes, the top money earners in our profession, they are the best promoters and they get the most people at the events, period, end of story. And he told me a story about Don King. How many of you remember Don King back in the 90s? You remember Mike Tyson back in the 90s? All right. Well, Don King was the promoter back in the 90s. Go Google him, watch YouTube videos, learn this, study this. He made more money. Think about this. He made more money as a promoter than getting in the ring and getting his teeth knocked in by the boxing. That is how powerful of a promoter he was. See, a promotion is only as good as the promoter. The events are only as good as the promoter. And he said, you have to build from event to event to event and have a snowball effect. And whoever has the most people at the events wins. He taught me. I used to walk in the back of a room, whether it was a Tuesday night, a Thursday night, a Saturday, because we did all this in an office, Monday through Friday at noon. We did overviews literally 8 times a week, not 2 times a week, 8 times a week. And it was in person every time. They didn't have the streaming thing back then. They didn't have the Zoom back then. You wanted to see what we got, you had to show up to see what we got, all right? So 8 presentations a week. And you know what all of us leaders started doing? In the back when the person was presenting, we would count how many people we personally had and how many people our teams had, because we didn't have a one team, one dream. We had let's kick everybody's ass dream is what we did back then. There was no, we went wide and we went deep and everybody was against everybody back then. With what we got something special with the one team, one dream. But what I want you to understand is we would look and see who had the most real estate at every type of an event. Whether it was a DMO event, if we did those, a Tuesday and Thursday night, a Saturday training, like I would go through here and count how many people on my team are on here out of how many people are on the Zoom. And if I had the majority, I'm winning. That's how I was taught and programmed. And I started promoting the events while other people were selling the products. And I started getting more people at the events than people were selling products. But then all the people I brought to the events started selling more products than everybody. And I went from way in back of the bus to the front of the bus to his #1 money earner within months when I figured this out. Within months. I was literally 24 years old, 25 years old, and I was number 19 in a company out of 10,000 people before the age of 25. From what he taught me on how to build from an event to event to an event. And what reminded me of this is I had the pleasure of hanging out with Mark at A&MP one night till 2 in the morning. No, we weren't getting blasted. He was in training mode, one-on-one with me. Jake was there for part of it, and then he went up. And we would just sat there till 2 a.m. and he was talking about, you remember the conversations we had, what took you from where you were stuck to where you needed to go. And, every person needs to be poured in. If I'm constantly pouring in and I'm not getting poured back, I run out of energy, just like you guys do. And going to these events, like Corinne talked about, the cruise changed her perspective. That was an event. Going to Vegas is an event, right? Going to, in October to the Keys with Sandy Toes, that's an event, because you're going to learn things while you're on vacation. You're going to get to know people on vacation. That's the stickiness. People get in for the money. Write this down. People get in for the money, but they stay because of the friendships, the relationships, the bonds that we build. I'm telling you right now, Dana and I have met couple times at a happy hour event in Arizona, and he's loving the culture. He's loving the events with what we're doing. He doesn't need to work. He's retired. He was a big shot at American Express, right? So just understand, he doesn't need the money. He's doing this because he loves the community. He loves the fun. He loves the action. It's keeping him, alive and sizzling every single day. He has something to look forward to. Same thing with Francoise. She's loving the culture. She's loving the community on what we're doing. So just understand, if you don't get people in your team to the events, you are just going to learn how to get good at replacing people versus building on top of foundation on top of foundation. All right. So everything is only as good as the promoter. One of the things you need to understand that we're doing, I'm going to share with you some things that I'm doing. Like, I'm doing my one-on-ones and two-on-ones and, my online meetings where I'm reaching out to 10 people a day and booking appointments. I'm doing between 4 and 10 appointments a day right now, 5 days a week. Jake will call me a couple times a day. I'm like, I'm on a Zoom. I'm on a call. I'll call you back. Like, it's constant, guys. Like, there's no days off right now. We are in the trenches, kicking ass, taking names, and see who's coming with us. That is what we're doing right now. But I want you to understand, every time I'm on a call, guess what I'm promoting? The next event, whether it's a Tuesday night or a Thursday night or a Saturday. But guess what also I'm promoting? I'm saying, hey, what are you doing July 26th? Because I'm personally recruiting heavily through LinkedIn and through my contacts in Arizona, because I got a big database here. And so I'm really working on rebuilding and opening up these conversations. But I'm also saying, hey, what are you doing July 26th? They're like, nothing. It's a Friday. I go, hey, there's a group of us floating the river. Put it on your calendar. Also, what are you doing July 31st from 7 to 9? Nothing. Great. I want to invite you to our networking event. We do a happy hour the last Wednesday of every month. And if it's okay with you, a week prior, I'll send you a notification reminder to put on your calendar if you don't do it right now. But I'd love to introduce you to some other entrepreneurs and like-minded people in the area that you could network with, and they could probably help you scale your business. There's nothing being sold there. There's nothing being pitched there. It's truly just hanging out, having a cocktail, having some appetizers, connecting with people, and getting out of the house. That's what we're doing. And I'm building from event to event every single month, and it's building on top of one another. And I'm building the foundation. It's like the snowball effect. But then one of the most important things that people truly need to understand is what really separates us from anything from staying mediocre or average to excellent and above is getting to the national conventions. Twice a year, we do national conventions. For those of you that were in February, drop a 1 in the chat. Were you online or offline, but you came to our first ever convention, right? Our next convention is in Scottsdale, Arizona, the last weekend of September. Now, understand something. You could make excuses not to come, or you can make reasons to come. I always tell people this, and it's so true. It will cost you more money to buy the excuse and not to come than in investing in your future to get to the event so you can be in the now. Because I can tell you right now, I do meetings every day for reps. Some of them plug in, some of them don't. It is what it is. I look at us as a gym membership. Everybody's equal to me. It does, so I'm okay with that. However, the ones that don't plug in seem to have the most questions, when all the questions are always answered on everything we do, right? So if you're treating this like a hobby, this will cost you a lot of money. You're not going to make money with the hobby. I just want you guys to know that. But if you treat this like a genuine, sincere business, you have the ability to change your life forever. And you have to figure out what that looks like for you. In person versus online. Let me tell you another story. At the event that Jake and I went to at ANMP, there was a streaming option. I didn't even know there was a streaming option. But how many of you been on events since COVID and you were on a streaming option of some type of an event you were plugged into? Now, was it a good event? Yeah, it was good. Was the information good? Yeah, it was good. But would you agree when your dog needs to be come in and out, your kids are running in and out, your spouse is asking you to pick up your crap and do the laundry and make lunch and dinner, and you got kids coming in and out, and you're on the internet, you're doing emails, you're texting, you got Sports Center in the back or a movie going on, but you're watching the screen. Do you think that you're getting 100% of the information? You're probably not, are you? Now, is it better than the alternative of not coming at all? I guess so. However, don't take the easy path, because I can tell you right now, being in the room in ANMP will change your life, because Jake and I were in the room. Why? Because we had people come up to us saying, hey, we want your product. And that's how we came up with the concept of putting back 10% back into the revenue pools to help you guys make more money. And then Jake got to meet with some other people and get some ideas and change our messaging. And because of sidebar conversations, not the presentation, not the presenter on the stage, not the person presenting, where all the trainers were great. There was a lot of great value, but I'm pretty confident I can speak for Jake and myself that the real value was at breakfast with other people, was at lunch with other people, was at dinner with other people after the fact, going to have a happy hour, Jake and I masterminding at lunch. Those were the real conversations that helped us catapult what things that we're doing right now. And the sidebar conversations that I had in my career with Mark and all the leaders and all the people kicking butt, I would sit down with them on breaks and be like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? What's working for you that's not working for me? And I would listen to them and I would take notes and I would tweak. I'd go find the people that were doing better than me and I would plug in. But also, one of the most important things that helped me is the stories, the success stories. I got to hear other people from different cities, from different states, from different countries, of all the trial and tribulations and the things they had to overcome to get where they're going. I remember sitting at my first event, hearing the stories, and I was up in what I call Millionaire Row. We sold out the Pyramid Building in Memphis. That was my first event. And I went to the top because that's all that was left. There was over 20-some thousand people at that event. And it was just maxed out. But I heard the stories and I'm like, if these people can do this, I have a shot. Some people went up there and I was like, God, if they can do this, I'm going to get rich. Like it was unbelievable, the stories. How many of you know facts tell and stories sell? Right? I used to be a story collector. One, I could go back and talk to other people about the success, but also it built my belief, my confidence, because I heard other people's struggles. I heard other people's wins. And so being plugged in, staying close to the fire. I grew up in Minnesota. In the wintertime, we have bonfires. And when you're sitting close to the fire, you can literally take your jacket off at 2 below zero and you're not even cold because you're so close to the fire. But when you got to go pee and you go away from the fire, it gets a little cold, doesn't it? And so my point is, some of you are out going in, doing what I just said, and you're a little cold and you're not close to the fire. It's time for you to get close to the fire and sell out on your goals and dreams, because the big man upstairs doesn't put them in your mind if he doesn't believe you have what it takes to achieve them. And so I challenge you to go into the guides of the Levarti Nation page today, and I'll put it in here right when I get done in the chat, and register. It's $97 for an in-person ticket. It's $127, I think, for an online. Why is it more expensive? Because we want you in person. That's why. Other people are spending time, energy, and money to get there. We have a super VIP. It's already sold out. We've already had that sold out. Over 100 people are already registered in person. We're going to have 200 people there. All the Arizona people are on a mission to fill those 100 spots with Arizona. They want this to be the best market. Then I've got people outside of Arizona going, no, we're going to take those last 100 spots. And I just challenge you guys, if you're not registered, how can you expect anybody else to be registered? So number one, step up to the plate and get registered. Then step number 2, reach out to everybody and get them on the train with you to the event. Don't make the mistake that I made. And I kept going to events alone. I'm like, man, I'm inspired. This is great, Mark. He's like, young lad, you're missing it. You need to bring people with you. Although that's where you're going to grow. And I was like, oh, okay, I got it now. And I started selling out the events. I became the #1 person in Mark's group to get the most people to the events. And I started sitting in the back of the room at the big conventions, counting how much real estate I had at the events. And when I started owning the most of the real estate in the room, guess what happened to my paycheck? Went through the roof. I was 24 years old, had a 29-foot fountain, SL 500 Mercedes, a Corvette. I bought my first home in Greyhawk, Scottsdale, Arizona Country Club. I went from struggling on the struggle bus, spending more money than I ever was making, to literally buying my first home, driving cars that most kids only dreamt of, having boats that most adults wish they could have had, and literally living the life that I always dreamed of at that time. All right. And of course, now it's much bigger than materialistic crap because you can't take it with you. I'd rather collect memories than things. But when you're in your younger 18, 19, 20, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's about things and popping bottles, right? That's what it is. Your priorities change over time. And so I just want you guys to know that, yes, we pre-launched in September. Yes, we launched in February. From me to you, I truly think our true launch event is September. I really believe that. I think 2024 is our foundational year. It's our planting year. And the last 3 months of this is going to be massive planting, October, November, December. We got some exciting things that we're going to roll out at convention. But truly, 2025 will be Levarti's breakout year with what we're doing. And for those of you that have the desire to actually train at these events and be on stage, just so you know, yes, we want you to be polished and a good presenter. Yes, you need to be making money. Yes, you need to be on the top 5 leadership board. Yes, you have to be pool 6, 7, 8, and beyond. We're not just going to take anybody because we like you. So if you've ever had the desire to be an actual trainer or speaker on these stages, yes, we'll have 200 people in person, a bunch online, but eventually we'll fill stadiums, guys. Jake and I came from a company where we filled stadiums 4 times a year in the US and dozens internationally throughout the year. We know where this thing is going. We know that we can't do every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We can't do every DMO. We can't do every training everywhere around the world. And so we're going to be looking for the ones who rise to the top. You have to be in production to be on the stage, or no stage time. But if you want that, go after it. It's yours. The last thing I want to point out to you guys is this. When you start believing in yourself, all right, that is when you're going to win. God does not create crap. Crap has been put in your head, but I am telling you right now, when you start believing in yourself, you will win. One of the things that people do in our career, in our profession, is they start chasing the shiny objects. Do you guys understand that travel has been around much longer than you? It'll outlast you, right? There's a lot of opportunity in the world today. There's a lot of franchises you could buy in the world today. There's a lot of business ideas you could start today. There's a lot of other companies in our profession that you could go market to today. But here's what I want you to understand. If you go chase the money, I know Ryan and I talked about this yesterday. When you chase the money, it will run from you. Guys, when you chase girls on the playground when you were a kid, did they just stand there and say, you got me? No, they ran from you. No different. When you chase, people run. When you chase, money runs. When you hop from company A to B to C to D, and you're going through the damn alphabet with all these different opportunities that pop up, every time you chase, every time you hop, you lose credibility. Well, so one day I see people talking travel, the next day this product, the next that product. Do you think that you're not confusing your audience? Like, God, that person has like 25 things. They're like that guy in the alley in New York City with the trench coat going, hey, if that doesn't work, I got all this drugs over here. You know, that's just how it works. You got to understand something. You have to plant your flag. If you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. That is one thing I learned. He goes, you got to be a rock. He goes, so many people in the world are a leaf. They blow whatever way the wind blows. And if you're not a rock, you're not solid. And I need you guys to understand is that Levarti is a debt-free company. We didn't borrow any money to get started. Literally, we've invested almost all the money back into the opportunity to scale it, make it stronger, faster, just for you guys and us to have a long-term business, to create that legacy company. And I'm telling you guys, you're at the right place at the right time. For those of you that are here at the end, we're going to make it worth it. For those of you that are going to watch us, we're going to make it painful. And I'm just telling you flat out, our flags are planted. We're excited. We know what we have in store. We know what we have. We know we got the best comp plan. We got the best product. That's why people want it. All right, people, our competition, like, we want your product. I'm like, we know. And so we make deals and help you guys make more money. That's just the best part about it. And we've got the best training system out there. We've got the support, the leadership, the culture. The only thing missing is you and the action that you need to take. Like, we can give you everything you need to be successful, but if you don't take action and actually do the thing and break through the fear barrier, it's irrelevant, and it doesn't matter if you don't do it. Now, if you just want to be a part of this and go on trips, great. We love you for that. But if you are ready to step this thing up to the next level, you need to be at the event. I have people that make excuses all the time that have so much freaking talent in their brain and in their blood and in their soul, but they never get to actually shine because they don't plug into the systems. I'm telling you, the people that plug in, they start to figure it out. And the ones that don't plug in, they get frustrated and fall out. That's just the way it is. And so I challenge you guys to be at the event in September. Come meet the people. We got Michael Burnoff, for God's sakes. Go Google him. Go to YouTube. Michael Burnoff is literally one of the best trained speakers to help you get unstuck in your business and your personal life, period. He is literally a magician when it comes to psychology and wording and belief. Like, the people that are plugging into this will have a breakthrough before noon on Saturday morning because Michael Burnoff is speaking that morning. I'm telling you right now, he normally charges tens of thousands of dollars to show up. Because we worked out a deal with him and we're using his venue for the event, we got him coming to our event to do a keynote speak for all of you. And he doesn't do this. But guess what? Relationships are very important, and we built a great relationship. And he's doing this for me. He's doing this for Jake and Bart. He's doing it for Levarti because he believes our hearts are in the right spot. And so, but it wouldn't be the same if you guys weren't with us. So I challenge you to get there and start reaching out to everybody in your team to get them there. And let's sell this event out. In the last 90 days of this year, all of us will be running the same plays, the same playbook. And 2025 will be your come breakout year with what we're doing, guys. So I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Jake and Corinne and Dave Price, who's not on here, for helping jump in on all the great updates and announcements. We'll see you guys next week, 4th of July. On the 4th is a Thursday. We won't do the Thursday night, even though the notifications are going to go out. Ignore them. We're going to do a Tuesday night. We're going to do a Saturday, even though it's a holiday weekend. Money doesn't know what day it is. All right. So have a great day, guys. Take care.